Sripada Shivallabha Charitamritam, Chapter 4. Shankara Bhatt had vision of Vasvambika in Kuruvapuram. We three want to do meditation in accordance with the instructions of Palaniswami. Sri Palaniswami said, Shankara, let all the three of us meditate. Let us discuss about our spiritual experiences felt during meditation. As this is the command of Sri Vallabha, some extraordinary spiritual development will be invariably experienced by us in future. English era will be in use in future. According to English era, today is 25th of April 1336. Today is Friday. This day is a very auspicious day having comprehensive yogic potential. This day has a special significance in our lives. I will leave my physical body here and go to Kuruvapuram in my subtle body. It is a child play for me to roam in 4 or 5 places at the same time in my subtle form. We will all remain in meditation form of Sripada Shivallabha. When his permission is granted, I will reach Kuruvapuram in my subtle body. The way for accessibility of Swami's grace. On hearing the words of Palaniswami, I wondered and said, Swami, Mahadeva saw the divine auspicious form of Sri Vallabha. You are always in communion with Sri Vallabha in subtle planes, but I only know his name, but not his form. How can I meditate upon him? Palaniswami smiled and said, My boy, if you have devotion for Sripada, everything is achieved. A tortoise protects its offspring with thought waves even they are left at a very faraway place on the shore. A cat carries its kitten from one house to another, keeping them in its mouth. It will keep them in a place which is considered by it as safe. In the same way, at first, Sripada treats his devotees in Kurma Kishora Nyaya. After some progress, the devotees are treated in Marjala Kishora Nyaya. Then the devotees are trained in Markata Kishora Nyaya. In Markata Kishora Nyaya, the child of the monkey has to attach itself assiduously to its mother. After further progress, devotees will conduct themselves as small fish freely swimming with the mother. When you sit for meditation, he will give darshan to you. Sri Vallabha wanted to take an important decision for the future. So, he wanted me to go over to Kuruvapuram in my subtle body on this momentous day. As soon as I receive his orders during meditation, I will at once proceed to Kuruvapuram. There, some important incident is going to take place. Lord Sri Datta has granted me the unique opportunity of witnessing that event completely with my eyes. Saying so, he went into meditation. Madhava and myself also took into meditation soon after. Meditation went on like this for 10 gadiyas. A gadiya is a Hindu hour equaling to 24 English minutes. All of us became our normal selves curiously at the same time. After meditation, Sri Palaniswami was in very high spirits. Madhava and I requested Swamiji to narrate his experience during meditation. He narrated it with all smiles in the following manner. The story of Shiva Sharma, the result from contemplation of Sripada Shivallabha. How fortunate are the people living in this Kali Yuga. Even Kuruvapuram is a small village. A Vedic scholar and a pious Brahmin named Shiva Sharma, who recognized the greatness of Sripada, was living there along with his wife Ambika. Theirs was the only Brahmin family in Kuruvapuram. Daily he used to cross the river and was earning money through acts appropriate for Brahmins to eke out a living. After making some money, he used to return to Kuruvapuram. He belonged to the lineage of Kashyapa sage. Shiva Sharma was a great scholar, a strict adherent of religious practices, and belonged to Yajurveda sect. He was losing his children in a very short time. At last, one son survived. Unfortunately, he was a dullard and a blockhead. Shiva Sharma became weak and sick as a skeleton due to the distress caused by the useless child. One day he recited Veda in the presence of Sri Vallabha and stood silent. Shripada noticed the sorrow in his mind and with a gentle smile said, Shiva Sharma, I am a slave to those who forget all worries and constantly meditate upon me. Tell me about your desire. For that, Shiva Sharma said, Swami, I wished that my son should become a greater scholar and orator than me. All my aspirations became futile. My son became an incorrigible idiot. For you who can do and undo things easily, it is not difficult to make him a learned and useful one. I leave it to your kind will. In reply, Shripada averred, My child, the fruits of past actions are unavoidable, even to the great people. The entire creation is moving subjected to unbreakable laws. Women get husbands as fruits of their worship. One begets children as fruits of his devotion. One should always donate to deserving people. Donations made to unworthy persons bring undesirable results. If food is offered to a good-natured person, the donor of food derives some part of that merit accruing from the good deeds performed by the good person. Donation should be made without arrogance. Then only it gives good results. On account of the past karma, that is, acts and its effects in the previous lives. You got a dull-witted one as a son. You couple wanted a child with a long span of life. You did not want a short-lived child. So I granted you a son with complete span of life. If his sin earned in the previous life has to be erased and he has to be made as a good scholar, then you have to be ready to sacrifice your life. That has to be done in consonance with the karmic principle. If you are prepared to sacrifice your life, I will make you son as a worthy scholar. For that, Shiva Sharma replied, Swami, I entered old age. I am ready to relinquish my life. What more can I aspire than my son becoming a great scholar and speaker like Brihaspati? Then Shripada, who is capable of making things happen and not happen, declared, Yes, you will die soon. After death, you will remain for some time in subtle body and undertake penance in an underground cellar below a neem tree in Disila town. Afterwards, you will take birth in the holy land of Maharashtra. Don't reveal this to your wife under any circumstances. Unveiling the future birth of Shripada Srivallabha. Shiva Sharma died soon. Ambika was begging along with his son and lived a miserable life. There was no end to the taunts and remarks of the ridicule of neighbors. That useless Brahmin youth could not bear the derisive remarks of the people. He ran towards the river to commit suicide. His helpless mother also wanted to end her life, and she also ran after him. On account of the punya earned before, Shripada saw them on the way. He dissuaded them from their suicide attempt. With his boundless compassion, he converted the foolish boy as an erudite scholar by his mere will. He instructed Ambika to spend the rest of her life in worshipping Shiva. He expatiated at length the result obtained from worshipping Shiva on Saturdays during evening times. He granted her a boon that in her next birth she would be blessed with a son who is equal to him in all respects. However, as there was no one equal to him in all the three worlds, he himself resolved to be born as a son in her ensuing birth. The intention for the birth of Narasimha Saraswati. Repository of all auspicious qualities. Oh, Vasvambika, may your wish be fulfilled. I will stay for 14 years more and will remain in this body of Shripada Srivallabha till I attain 30 years. Afterwards, I will disappear. Again, to revive the order of sannyasa, I take birth as Nrsimha Saraswati and retain in that incarnation for 80 years. Afterwards, I stay in intensive penance for 300 years in Kadalivana and conclude my incarnation in Pragnapura under the name Swami Samartha. In the form of avadutas and siddhas, I perform miracles and incredible sportive plays with my illimitable divine virtues, Shripada spoke sweetly. Men become weaklings with the passage of yogas. Therefore, the Almighty descends to lower state on prayer of sages. The incarnations of Lord in human body is an indication of His complete grace. This descent of the Lordship to lower levels enables humans to obtain excellent results with little effort. Therefore, human beings in Kali Yuga are fortunate. By merely remembrance, the grace of Lord Datta would be available. There are many opportunities for the downfall of man in Kali Yuga, but there are equally twofold number of opportunities for obtaining the grace of Shripada. This is a sacrosanct truth. Remembrance, adorance, and other activities establish association with Lord Shripada. By these, all the sinful acts, impure sensual influences, behavioral patterns of the devotees enter into the consciousness of Lord Shripada, and auspicious vibration enter into his dependent devotees. Sri Charana, one of with auspicious feet, destroys those heaps of sins and black auras which enter into his consciousness by taking a single dip into a holy river, or he will burn them into ashes in the blazing fire of his yoga. He will personally undergo penance and dedicate the fruits of that penance to his dependents. Thus, he protects the devotees without violating the principle of karma. If considered necessary, he would command the inert karmic nature and grants liberation for those who take refuge in his auspicious feet. Every second, he destroys karma for the welfare of his devotees in a very ferocious form. Therefore, who surrender to his padukas get freedom from the shackles of karma even without being aware of it. When Palani Swami explained in the above manner, I made a bold question to him about a doubt that had cropped up in my mind. Swami, I heard that when Saturn afflicts for 7.5 years, even Shankara cannot escape from the trouble. I request you to tell me how Sri Guru Sarvabhauma wards off afflictions from planets. My child Shankara, the planets in the zodiac do not have friendship or enmity towards living beings. When a person is born, the planetary position form according to his past karma. He derives good and evil effects according to the movement of the planets. When the subtle rays from the planet cause ill effects and mantra, tantra, yantra remedies cannot abate them, one has to resort to japa, tapa and homa practices. When they also cannot alleviate the suffering, one has to take refuge in the padukas of Sadguru. Shripada is omnipotent. Good and evil forces also exist. The vibrations of those forces cause good and bad developments respectively. Each planet has a dominance on particular part of human anatomy. When planetary afflictions take place, the relevant part of human body ruled by the adverse planet becomes sick. Undesirable results follow when the subtle vibrations flowing from the universal consciousness are received. Variations take place in the attractions and repulsion caused by vibrations. A person who is hitherto in good company suddenly will be subjected to ill effects like bad company. Friendship with low-class people, unreasonable quarrels, loss of relatives, disputes with family members, and reduction in the power of personal attraction. The universal forces create vibrations continuously. They work steadily in a state of sthiti for some time in the concerned persons. After some time, they leave those persons and reach the bodies of persons who are destined to come under their influence. They begin to give results again according to the rotation of the wheel of time. People who are devotees of God and observe spiritual practices like japa and tapa can get some respite from their rigor to some extent. Sages conduct various kinds of sacrifices for the universal welfare. They dedicate their spiritual power derived through tapas for the well-being of humanity. As a result of this practice, harmful influences arising in the universe revert back to their origin instead of harassing men. It means that they return to the center of their origin. This can be termed as tirodhana, that is, disappearance or retreat. Grant of abundant auspicious results even for small amount of good deeds is called anugraha or grace. My son, I explained to you the concepts of Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirodhana and Anugraha according to the doctrine of Kriya Yoga. In future, the powers of Sripada Sri Vallabha flow in a large measure into the Muslim fakir you saw in your meditation. You saw 4 Nanda lamps in the underground cellar beneath the neem tree. This is an extraordinary matter. Sripada Sri Vallabha granted you this experience with a great intention in mind. He only knows the inner purpose of it. His divine acts are indeed superb. They have a very deep purpose. Moreover, they may be divine secrets not to be divulged to others. I can only explain to you to the extent he permitted me. The entire creation moves very close to the eye signs of Sripada Sri Vallabha. He is an authority unto himself. The glories, yogic powers of the masters of this universe are immeasurable and cannot be comprehended in terms of measurements, limits, and quantities. My mind immensely rejoiced at the explanation of Sri Palani Swami. From the time I started from Udupi Kshetra till I reached Kuruvapuram, many wonderful and strange things were taking place. I wanted to write a book about them and obtain the permission of Sri Guru Sri Sarvabhauma. I wanted to request Sri Pada in this regard after getting his darshan. Sri Palani Swami grasped the feelings in my mind easily and said, I understood the ideas of your mind. You wanted to write his history for the benefit of devotees of the future. Sri Pada Sri Vallabha will surely bless your effort. Then Sri Palani Swami asked Mahadeva to speak about his experiences gained in his meditation. Mahadeva narrated his experiences. Installation of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha Padukas, installation of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha's idols, Sri Dattatreya and Sri Nrsimha Saraswati in the birthplace of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. Sri Palani Swami said, Mahadeva, the house of the maternal grandfather of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha which you visited is the birthplace of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. It has attracted all your powers. In the Patala, that is, lower world, below the Padukas, there are hermits doing penance from several hundreds of years. Sri Pada Sri Vallabha Padukas will be installed only in the birthplace of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. After some years from the installation of their pious Padukas there, Sri Pada Sri Vallabha Charitamrutam comes to light effortlessly. In the place where you meditated, the idols of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha, Sri Dattatreya and his next incarnation, Sri Nrsimha Saraswati, will be installed. Afterwards, many divine sportive plays take place in that kshetra. After that, Sri Palani Swami became silent. He asked the corpse of the youth buried near our cave to be exhumed. He began to chant the pranava after the body was taken out. Vyagreshwara Sharma came there with the loud roar of Sri Pada Rajam Sharanam Prapadaye. Sri Palani Swami entered into the body of the new youth. Vyagreshwara Sharma, who was in the body of a tiger, took the body of Sri Palani Swami, which decayed with age, to throw it into a nearby river. Palani Swami, who entered the new body, ordered, Leave this place immediately, my boy. Madeva, go to your Vichitrapuram. You saw the pious people of Pitakapuram in your subtle body. That is enough for your life. My child, Shankara, you go to Tirupati Mahakshetra. Madeva, may the grace of Sripada Srivallabha shower on you. Then Madeva went towards Vichitrapuram and me towards Tirupati. Where is the end to the divine sportive place of Sripada Srivallabha?